It's volatile out there. Conditions can change in an instant. You've got to stay in control, spot the opportunity, then make your move. It's all about execution. Search Alpari Race and get on board. Alpari, your global Forex broker.
Forex is high risk and not suitable for all investors. Losses may exceed deposits.
Hello and welcome to Stage 4 of the Alpari World Match Racing Tour, the Chicago Match Cup. Taking us past the halfway stage of the Alpari Tour, the Chicago Match Cup was pivotal for the 8 tour card holders competing here. Following a tough event in Sweden for many of the top seeds, there was no clear leader, and a good performance here could shake things up yet again. That and the fact they were racing 4 formidable wildcards meant the sailors needed to be on top form for the week. Championship points aside, the Chicago Match Cup offers competitors a whopping $100,000 US prize purse, as well as the event title for the winner. Competitors are supplied with an equally matched fleet of Tom 28 Max boats, which we'll be finding out more about later in the show. For now, though, let's take a look at the city that played host to this regatta. So it's no surprise that Chicago is one of the most populous cities in the United States, attracting hordes of visitors from around the world. And with the Chicago Match Cup in town, the numbers gracing Navy Pier were no exception.
We're expecting big crowds, well into a few 100,000 people, and maybe even touching 1 million people coming down here to the pier throughout the week. I think some of the great things we have with the Chicago Match Cup is our fantastic venue. And the fact that we are in a city of 9 million people. We have this beautiful skyline, the home of the skyscraper. The first skyscraper was built here just behind me. And then we have Navy Pier, this almost a mile-long pier that juts out and serves as our viewing venue. And it really gives us this natural stadium. So even when it's blowing 30 miles an hour out of the north and we have these 8-foot waves on the lake, we have fairly flat water in here. And you're able to just watch the racing from all sides. This week here in Chicago, we've really got a maritime festival and kind of this collision of maritime history with the tall ships alongside modern match racing with the Chicago Match Cup. So the tall ships occupy the north side of the pier and the south side of the pier, and we've taken over the east end. So what that means, we've got grandstands set up to watch, we've got live commentary to explain all the action, we've got live television to bring the action even closer to you. We've also got some VIP hospitality suites. We've got the Windy City Lounge where you can get a bird's eye view of the race course. Lots and lots to do.
To mark the opening of the Chicago Match Cup, an array of tall ships sailed into the harbour during racing. dwarfing the Tom 28s as modern match racing met old maritime history. A dramatic start to an epic week of racing. The format here saw each team race each other in qualifying, with the top 4 advancing straight through to the quarterfinals. The bottom 8 reset their points and raced each other again in a repechage round to decide the remaining 4 quarterfinalists.
The match is very tight here.
Following a day of light wind for the first qualifying session, the second day was jam-packed with racing as teams made the most of the breezy conditions. Home favourite Taylor Canfield came up against last year's finalist and this year's wildcard Jordan Rees in a match that demonstrated the tactical nature of match racing. We join commentator Simon Shaw at the first top mark.
Now what Taylor Canfield's trying to achieve here is he's trying to offset his penalty before rounding the mark. Go down, jibing onto port, jibing back onto starboard. Now, Taylor Canfield appealing that that was his jibe, that was his penalty. Car's not happy, although continuous whistles indicating that that penalty is still outstanding for Canfield. Big shouts from Jordan Rees, looking to try and get his bow down, backing his jib down inside Canfield. He is trimming on now. How will Taylor Canfield respond? He's setting his sails. Now, has Canfield done enough? Is he doing enough to respond? And Taylor Canfield still has Jordan Rees locked outside him. A green flag from the umpires. Now Taylor Canfield calling no room in at the mark. He's going to hold up and high, try and trap Jordan Rees inside. He's back onto starboard. Taylor Canfield now forcing Jordan Rees through head to win. Now that very close tack from Canfield. I think Jordan Rees did enough. You hear a whistle from the umpires. I think a green flag.
Come back up, you guys. We have room there! We have room! Heel overlap! He's tapped! Heel overlap! Come on!
Now here we go, Jordan Rees with the tack. Both boats coming back together. Big appeals from both skippers. Jordan Rees is on the inside.
Coming away. Go hoist, go hoist, go hoist, go hoist, go hoist, go hoist.
Jordan Rees with the hoist.
Double boy, double boy.
Here umpire whistles blazing away. There's the second blue flag. He's going to have to do one straight away. So Jordan Rees sliding down the inside. Taylor Canfield going for a very aggressive move and it not working out for him. The umpires have decided he's got a second penalty. That means he has to take one straight away. That second blue flag he's managed to offset by sailing across the line of Jordan Rees. And it's Jordan Rees that comes down, take the win. Great sailing from this young team from Australia.
Canfield may have lost that one, but his team were looking as tight as ever when we caught up with them earlier in the week to talk about the Tom 28 Maxes.
All right, we're here in Chicago, Illinois, and we're here on the Tom 28 pimped out boat. These are the boats that we sail at the Chicago Match Race Center, and pretty cool boats. A little smaller than most boats on the tour, but you know, very maneuverable, very quick, and very sporty. So it kind of makes everything pretty exciting out on the race course.
Downwind, I got the twings here and I switch those from side to side, and I tend to get out, try and roll the boat. I just swing it down like this and then swing it down to the other side, and when I get time and I'm not tiding up, I try and look back and see where the breeze is as well.
That was pretty sweet. You must have some big muscles to do that.
Yeah, it does take a little bit of muscle to pull the sail up on this boat. Have to help Hayden out with it every once in a while. Can't quite always perform, but so I'm Mike Ray. I'm the jib trimmer this week on USOne, and then the spinnaker trimmer downwind as well.
As a team, we just try and be part of the new age. You know, all the older guys on the tour are a little weathered, and you know, just kind of old school, and we try and just keep it flashy, keep it fresh, keep it, you know, just in the moment. This is our crib right here in Chicago, and our Tom 28, so we're feeling pretty good about the event.
It seemed that Canfield's team weren't all talk as they found themselves in second place after a long and intense day of racing, beaten only by current world champion Ian Williams. Williams' scoreline of 8 wins put him straight through to the quarterfinals early, with only one race left to sail. Day 3 dawned with enough breeze to get through the remaining qualifying races and get stuck into the repechage. The final races of qualifying put many teams in a must-win situation. Tension was clear as Pierre-Antoine Morvan, on the cusp of a quarter-final place, faced Will Tiller. We joined them in the pre-start.
Reste vite, okay? Vitesse. Okay, on va virer.
There, the penalty. A penalty on William Tiller, not quite doing enough. More than was driving around on starboard. Tiller was keep clear boat. Now, look to me, he did quite a lot to try and keep clear, but I think the umpire's deciding not quite enough. Has to do everything he can possibly do to avoid. It's a little bit slow to respond, and that's costing him a penalty, so that's great news for More than. So there, a little bit of a luff. The luff from More than. William Tiller needs to be careful, and there disaster strikes for William Tiller. He's just got that second blue flag, the small luff that he wasn't ready for. He didn't respond very well. I thought he was vulnerable, and there the second blue flag. So William Tiller has to take that penalty straight away, and I'm not exactly sure what he's doing now. I think he's trying to get behind the line of Pierre-Antoine More than. The spinnakers both up as the boats come head to wind. Now, I think William Tiller desperate to try and sail across the stern of Antoine More than, which I don't think he's been able to do quickly enough. He's just done a jibe. I think he's rehoisted the spinnaker. I think he's hoping that that was enough of a penalty, but it's not. And I can see the black flag is flying. That's the first time we've seen that this week. And there, William Tiller, that is the end of his race. The umpires have come in and said, you did not take that penalty quickly enough.
So at the end of qualifying, the scores looked like this. Advancing straight through to the quarterfinals were Ian Williams, Taylor Canfield, Pierre-Antoine Morvan and Bjorn Hansen. The remaining teams had one last chance to bag themselves a place in the first of the knockout rounds. Join us after the break for the repechage to see who'll make it through.
It's volatile out there. Conditions can change in an instant. You've got to stay in control, spot the opportunity, then make your move. It's all about execution. Search Alpari Race and get on board. Alpari, your global Forex broker.
Forex is high risk and not suitable for all investors. Losses may exceed deposits.
Welcome back to the Chicago Match Cup. 4 teams had already secured their place in the quarterfinals, but for the remaining 8 teams, there was a repechage to sail.
Don Wilson forced attack back, inches separating the boats.
The repechage took place straight after the last qualifying race, really testing the energy levels of the competitors. And if penalty flags are anything to go by, there was lots of risk-taking to get into the top 4.
Blue flag, that indicating Don Wilson over the line. The flag's blazing there. Keith Swinton just received a penalty.
There were also a few nail-biting finishes, including an all-New Zealand matchup between Adam Minoprio and Phil Robertson.
Here we go, it's showtime. Phil Robertson through the jibe. Adam Minoprio jibing on top now. Can he get to the air of Phil Robertson? He's sailing hotter, he's sailing a little bit faster, just trying to get as far forward as he possibly can, try and throw that dirty air down onto his countryman. Robertson still fast for now. We can see that white spinnaker Robertson still drawing. And at the moment, Minoprio just not on his air.
Nice wave here, guys.
And now I think Minoprio is starting to make inroads into Robertson.
Next pressure, Chris, next pressure.
And here Minoprio talking, the tempo's changed. There's the jibe, Robertson jibes as well. Both boats coming across. Minoprio sweeping across the stern of Phil Robertson. Trying to attack the other side now. Great crew work from Minoprio. I think his spinnaker just coming through a little bit more stable than on Robertson. Tack and pole on a little quicker. Nick Blackman on the bow of Alpari FX. But Robertson's still keeping that air clear. Minoprio hasn't been able to really affect the breeze of Robertson yet. But is he getting there now? I can see the white kite is starting to flutter. Robertson, I think, starting to suffer in the dirt of Minoprio as the boats come back down towards the finish. Here's the jibe. Now we're going to see a luff here from Minoprio. Can Minoprio make this one stick? Both boats coming down. Here comes Minoprio. Needs to keep a cool head. Robertson just sneaking around. Great jibe from Robertson. I think that could be the race decider as Minoprio goes for a final attempt and knocking over the skittles of Phil Robertson. Robertson doing a great job of the last minute defence. As we come down towards the bottom, the final throw of the dice from Minoprio through the jibe. Looks to be a little bit boat bias, which could favour Minoprio. Here comes Phil Robertson through the turn now. As the boats power down towards the finish. Feet separating them. And it's a blue flag. And it is the Phil Robertson show that has triumphed. What a great match.
The scores look like this at the end of the day, with a whole host of tour card holders tied on 2 wins. The teams had the next morning to fight it out, but with no sign of wind, the tension was building.
Bit of a tough situation, I guess. We're sitting here on shore and there's nothing out behind us, no wind on the lake at all, so it's always a hard one. It's the downfall of our sport, unfortunately. It's all wind dependent, and when it's light like this, you just can't get a race away. We're either going to scrap what we've done and go straight into the semi-finals, which will put us in a bad spot. But look, we're still hoping for some breeze, and hopefully we'll get the quarterfinals in this afternoon and then carry on as it should be.
At the moment, it's not looking very good. So if the wind stays the way it is, with no wind out there, then we're out of the regatta, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles, really.
We're feeling pretty good. You know, of course we want to get out sailing, but if we go straight to the semis, it's not a problem for us.
We're going to have to get out there and be really switched on straight away. Yes, it's less stressful, but you've done less sailing, so I'd put a little bit towards the repechage guys.
It's hard when you're not racing, you're just sitting on shore. You sort of want to turn off and switch off for a while and relax, but it's hard to always switch off like this. We know everyone really well, so they're all mingling around and telling stories, really. Good storytelling time.
Eventually, the wind filled in and racing got underway. One of the closer matches of the repechage was between Adam Minoprio and Gavin Brady. A crucial race for both.
2 minutes opening up on the clock. And Adam Minoprio all over Brady here. So much faster through the water, that speed.
Big roll here, guys, and we'll get them.
Crucial.
Speed, guys, right? You can hook us from here. 3, 2, 1, and up. We're coming in with speed here.
Nice roll there from Adam Minoprio. Driving into that fluid lane.
Coming at you.
Adam Minoprio pushing Brady.
Come on, get up! Get up! Come on, he's not going anywhere! Come on, protest!
Now the question for the umpires there was Gavin Brady doing enough to keep clear? Adam Opero was locked into leeward for a while, and the umpires agree, and Gavin Brady has received a yellow flag, so Adam Opero seeing some reward for the pressure he kept Gavin Brady under. And again here, Gavin Brady through the tag, crash tack, and Adam Opero in the side. I think Brady vulnerable to a second penalty. We'll see what the umpires think. Yeah, the green flag from the umpires. Brady definitely under pressure. Adam Opero prioritising the speed, I think, on his boat as 30 seconds open up. Crash tack from Opero. He's going to have to get fast from there as Brady reaches off. I think Brady will be able to get his tack in. 17 seconds. The breeze has actually built back in a little bit here. Opero a little behind him, manoeuvring, 5 seconds. And as the gun sounds, disaster strikes from Opero. He's over the line, so some reprieve for Gavin Brady in that right-hand position.
All the way to 3.
Not under any pressure at all. And Adam Opero falling foul of his own boat speed in that pre-start. Caught over. Going for the hoist, but he has given away some of that valuable distance. He rounds a little slower. Here comes Adam Opero.
He's going to be right on us. He's very slow there, guys. We're coming in quick. Braces out, Dave. Go sheet. 3, 2, 1, hoist.
Now Adam Opero coming around with speed. There's his spinnaker set.
Talk to me.
And Adam Opero coming in today with the bit between his teeth.
Is it hit, is he? Yes.
There, Adam Opero doing some serious damage to Brady. Team Alpari FX have come round and past.
Talk about their ley line. Ley line, I think they're correct. 2, 1.
Opero now tacking across the line of Gavin Brady. You can feel the frustration seeping out of every pore. Brady's team, you can see his chance of progressing out of this repechage going up in flames right now as he looks across to Adam Opero. They're on the ley line.
Let's hurt him.
Yeah, Opero putting the knife in, pulling that main in really hard, trying to kick back as much dirty air onto the sails of Brady. And it is Adam Opero coming down to the finish, inching ever closer. You can see the pin coming into shot, and there's the bow of the committee boat, and Adam Opero comes through to claim this crucial win here in the repechage round. Great sailing.
With the last of the repechage sailed, all but one of the tour card holders made it through to the quarterfinals. Johnny Bernson was out early, a costly exit in terms of the world title. Next up, it was the quarterfinals. The skipper pick took place with the top 4 out on the water, so there was no rest for the competitors. Ian Williams selected Pierre-Antoine Morvan as his opponent. We joined them for their second match with Williams 1 race win ahead in a first to 2-point series.
Ian Williams there. For me, I thought he was under pressure to be a bit late, but in the end his execution inch perfect up at the right hand side, and for me he has control of the pairs as we sail off to the left hand side.
Feels strong up here?
Struggling, yeah. Guys, we're watching Ian Williams once again putting the hurt on Pierre-Antoine Morvan. And here's the thing, Morvan finally won a start and looked great off the line. Ian got sent out to the right side, and as someone brilliantly forecasted, he picked up a beautiful puff on the middle right, the same puff that's got Tiller ahead of Canfield. So the right side looking sweet here as the clouds build up over Chicago, and a really, really nice breeze as we watch Ian Williams likely going to advance to the semifinals here. One more leg and Ian Williams is in.
Oh, just a fantastic set from Ian Williams and the boys on GAC Pindar. Really taking it to Pam. And yeah, he is going to, unfortunately, we've had some light air here in Chicago over the last few days, and we couldn't get the aggressive format that we had planned. We couldn't get it all in. So they had to cut this down to a best-of-3 series, and Pierre-Antoine Morvan sailing well, but the 6-length lead that you see here, it's just too much. It's just too much to catch up, and Ian's likely going to advance here.
Sailing with Ian Williams, and Morvan has made a game. Williams was right about that shift. I think perhaps not just ribbing Bill, but it's not going to be enough, and Ian Williams coming through the line. We can see he comes through the line to take the second win.
Well done, guys, great job.
Williams was the first one through to the semi-finals with a clean sheet of 2 wins. The current world champion showing his prowess yet again. The next pairing saw Taylor Canfield racing Will Tiller. The pair secured a win each, and it took it to a decider, with Canfield coming out on top as he crossed the line and joined Ian Williams in the semi-final. Find out who'd be racing with them after the break.
It's volatile out there. Conditions can change in an instant. You've got to stay in control, spot the opportunity, then make your move. It's all about execution. Search Alpari Race and get on board. Alpari, your global Forex broker.
Forex is high risk and not suitable for all investors. Losses may exceed deposits.
It's the quarterfinal stage of the Chicago Match Cup, where the best performers of the regatta so far get the chance to knock each other out. But who has the psychological edge?
The psychological side of the sailing, it's really important, and especially in match racing.
Match racing and any sailing is really about controlled aggression.
I think like wrestling, where you meet your opponent just before, you have a look at them, you see them in the eyes. It's everyone trying to get in each other's heads and try and get them off the pace. So whoever ends up staying strong and overcoming all that usually has a leg up in the race.
We're on the water for a long period of time each day, so your mind's always going to be on there.
Something that we've been talking about a lot this year is keeping the positive attitude on board.
There's always someone in the crew, like on our boat it's Dave Sweet, who just keeps going, come on guys, we're in the race, keep going, keep going.
You just kind of try to stay motivated, keep the boys in it and keep going.
If you let it slip for 2 minutes, that's probably going to be the race gone. And especially against these guys on the World Tour, you just can't make those mistakes.
If you're a couple of penalties down, a long way behind or whatever, that you're probably not going to win, but you still give it your all, do your best, and you never know what might happen. Having the right mindset is super important, to have the right balance of aggression and control.
Trying to avoid putting people on pedestals and thinking people they're good, and just calling them a colour. Like we sort of try and go away from that as much as possible. And we're just like, who are we up against? We're up against, say, just a colour. You're not worried about who you're coming up against.
Sailing's a sport that you don't always know when it's going to start and when it's going to finish, and so building up yourself mentally for the right moment is a big challenge.
Relying on nature a bit, so you've got to know that anything can happen, and if there's a chance, you've got to be there to jump on that opportunity.
We joke around in between races, but now it's pretty serious. Even if we're in front and we think we're guaranteed, we're not. It's not over till we cross the finish line.
If it's all about mind games, then the next quarter-final pairing could be proof. Bjorn Hansen triumphed when he faced Phil Robertson in the finals in Sweden. They took it to a third race to decide the winner, and Hansen was dominant from start to finish.
And it is Bjorn Hansen coming into the finish. He's still in the competition, still has a chance of getting his hand on the Chicago Match Cup.
The fourth quarter-final matchup was Adam Minoprio, who was left racing Keith Swinton. We joined them for the pre-start of their first match.
30 seconds to go. Swinton's going to drop that spinnaker. Nice smooth turn starting at the boat.
Jib on, jib on. Okay, turning, big roll.
And as if to complicate things, we can see Ian Williams coming through the finish line. He's just finishing there. We're looking at the pink and the green boats.
Coming up high.
Now Manoprio has looked for the lead. I think Swinton's overcooked this. He's just sailed too far past. Manoprio jamming it in there, turning it round. Swinton's still the faster of the two boats as the gun sounds. So Swinton slingshot start up at the boat end. He completely pulled it off there and left Manoprio floundering.
That was a brilliant move, Simon.
And there's the two shot. And Keith Swinton absolutely destroyed Adam Manoprio. Keith Swinton slowly building his performance from that repechage round. So there, Keith Swinton down and through the line to take the win.
Swinton proved to be stronger, taking a second win and advancing through to the semi-finals. The Chicago Match Cup really did put the sailors to the test as racing continued on to the semi-finals on the same day. Ian Williams had first pick of opponent yet again, but would it come back to bite him?
You see how Ian Williams much slower, but not really opening the door on either side to Swinton. And now when Ian turns up, he's almost on time. So, wow, double penalty. Now that we can get confirmation. I think both boats sailing outside of the exclusion zone.
All right.
Keith Swinton looking for the hook, but it's not going to come. And Williams, 32 seconds, perhaps 22 seconds from the line. He's got a little bit of time to waste here.
I mean, this is super close. Look at that. Do you expect Swinton to be able to send Ian Williams off like that?
I think Swinton slightly caught out Ian Williams. Now, normally you'll see Ian Williams look for the tack back. Here he goes. I'm not sure he's going to get that in.
And flag.
Now, I think Ian Williams under threat there.
Okay, nice big roll.
The green flag coming up, so the umpire's deciding Williams did enough. And as the gun sounds.
Now let's see if Williams makes the same mistake that Canfield made and lets Swinton get to the right.
The boats come up towards the top mark. There you can see the crew's fully hiked.
Need you hiking that hole,
This boat's very powered up in just 10 knots of breeze that we have here.
Now
fully hiked out.
For the tack now. Williams is across, and actually Williams on ley line. He leads around this mark. Jerry Mitchell on the trim.
Hoist when you can.
And you can see Matty Cassidy ripping that kite up in the air. When the spinnaker goes up, he pulls it up so fast that the kite actually flies up over the top of the halyard for a second.
Obviously Bill Hardesley there, the architect of the strategy. And as we say that, the spinnaker has blown forward. The halyards come undone. Disaster strikes.
You think they can hear us?
Honestly, Matt Cassidy, we're trying to talk you up, buddy.
We're good here, guys. Stand by jibe and jibing.
And here we go. Williams back clear air. Now the interesting question here for me is which mark are they going to take?
No,
certainly appeals. Swinton looking for a luff.
Okay.
Has Williams done enough?
Overlap here.
There are two small laps.
Jib up.
Now is Swinton in at the mark? I think we'll see Williams take.
That was a brilliant move.
Gate.
A brilliant move, and that little bit of a dip, that little bit of a kite coming down gave him enough. It was an inch. It was 1 inch overlap. Let him get inside, take the right, and right now, Keith Swinton and Black Swan Racing looking spectacular.
Okay, trim up.
And we've got to stop talking about Williams because it's not doing his
Trim
progress around the course any good.
Shut up. Trim up. Big hike. My mate.
And look at that lead. No question, easy cross.
Big soak out of it, Yaxie.
And that is a big move right there. So the low percentage split goes all wrong for Ian Williams. And look who's going around first, Black Swan Racing.
And that is more than a two-tack gain, that's for sure.
But now,
and soaking, big soak now.
Williams has to come back.
Big soak now.
And it is
not
the result we were expecting. It's not the result we were expecting after the top mark. But Keith Swinton has come through. He takes the blue flag.
Swinton went on to take another win over the match racing giant, securing a place in the final.
It was one of those afternoons where things happened to us that haven't happened all week. You know, we had a spinnaker halyard clutch come undone down the run, and things like that just cost us those few inches that really made a difference. So real shame for us, but as we say, we'll try and push for third.
To decide who'd be joining him, Taylor Canfield faced Bjorn Hansen. The two were on 1 win each as they entered a third decisive race. We joined them at the first top mark.
Now this time Canfield looking to put the knife into Hansen, and this time it's Taylor Canfield, which is in good shape. He's tacking in on the first top mark, and perhaps these small differences we're seeing between these teams, this is what's going to be defining this outcome of the match.
Kite goes up, bam. Halyards on, sheets on, jibs down, and they're away. Hansen coming around 2 boat lengths behind.
Now the boat's coming back together. Bjorn Hansen from the left.
Oh my.
Taylor Canfield from the right.
Oh my.
And Bjorn Hansen plucked some luck from those Nordic gods.
It is extremely close. Will Taylor get it? He's looking all right, but boy, he's got to be biting his nails.
Now Bjorn Hansen has not lost.
No, and that's the first time the left didn't kill you. It actually kept him alive. He's only a boat length and a half
I think he's
behind.
closed.
I think he has too.
Lucky left. I knew she'd come good for me one of these days.
3, 2.
Look at this. This is tight, folks. This is tight.
Now here comes Bjorn Hansen. Never say die. Taylor Canfield in a very low mode already. He's trying to position himself for the jibe. And there, Bjorn Hansen leads it.
Now, why would Hansen not wait?
I think when you're nervous that you haven't got the match, it's all about whether if Taylor Canfield jibed, if you jibed at the same time, you'd be on his air. And I think Bjorn Hansen just not happy that that was the case, so he leads the jibe. We'll now see him, perhaps he sees a little bit of pressure that way. We'll probably see him jibe back now and then reposition absolutely on the air of Canfield.
Now, there was a left shift down at the bottom, and Hansen may have made up a little bit on that shift.
Now Canfield will look to be as hot as he can and as fast as he can into this because he knows his air's going to start to run out. He's already hot.
These guys are very close.
Taylor Canfield with the luff. His pole is forward. He's on the head stay. He's going as fast as he can. Bjorn Hansen desperate to get to the air of Canfield, but coming down towards the finish. Small inches.
This is going to be inches, guys. This is going to be inches. Canfield doing a great job of keeping the boat go. Hansen jibes. They both jibe around the mark. He's trying to rub him off on the mark.
Bjorn Hansen now with another twist and turn down towards the bottom. The finish is looming between these two. Canfield finally getting his spinnaker set, but here comes Bjorn Hansen down to the bottom. Taylor Canfield with the final turn, I think.
This is a crucial jibe.
Canfield has the bias as he comes down to the finish. Taylor Canfield taking the win.
By half a boat length, barely ekes it out, and the USOne team has advanced to the finals. Oh my Lord.
Just qualified for the finals here in Chicago, and we're pretty stoked about it. You know, it's great to have like the fans behind us here, and you know, all our families in town. So we're pretty excited about it. You know, to win a close race against Bjorn Hansen is always a good one.
So the scores at the end of the semi-finals looked like this. Home favourite Taylor Canfield is on course to be a crowd pleaser, but he'd need to beat Keith Swinton to take the event win. It's all to play for in part 4.
It's volatile out there. Conditions can change in an instant. You've got to stay in control, spot the opportunity, then make your move. It's all about execution. Search Alpari Race and get on board. Alpari, your global Forex broker.
Forex is high risk and not suitable for all investors. Losses may exceed deposits.
The Chicago Match Cup nearly had itself a winner with just the finals left to sail. The penultimate day saw race 1 completed with Keith Swinton claiming first blood. The second race took place in light conditions and yet again Swinton took the win. But it was far from over in the first to 3 points final. We joined the pair at the first top mark, a must win for Canfield.
Taylor Canfield coming in at the top mark. Spinnaker prime, small luff to get around mark.
Hoisting in 3, 2, 1, go hoist.
Up with the hoist. Spinnaker set.
Mike, too far back.
Comes Keith Swinton. Both boats coming down the run, and we can see their damage to Taylor Canfield's Spinnaker.
Simon, that was a big problem. The guys hoisted the kite very early. They had to shoot that boat head to wind, and they were maybe a bit over exuberant. The kite got caught around the leeward spreader and opened up that tear. And it is not now here we go on the jibe. It is not an inconsequential tear. More of it is coming away. They've got to hold it together till this bottom mark so they can get down. And on the upwind, then Hayden Goodrick can pull out the sticky back and tape that Spinnaker up.
Yes, I am getting affected.
Canfield still out in front, keeping his cool, covering Swinton.
2, 1, and up.
Canfield breaking off to the left-hand side. Keith Swinton tacking off for the right.
Guys, this is the moment of truth. We're going to watch this kite go up, and let's see if it holds together. They opted not to do any repair. And you can see right there, you can see the leech holding together, and that kite just flopping off. But they decided not to do the taping, probably because they needed their body weight on the rail, and a bold move. And I'll tell you what, I mean, it's interesting to watch a race and know that the outcome depends on a piece of fabric and nothing else.
Canfield doing a nice job of holding on to the lead as both boats come down towards the finish. And it was Taylor Canfield on the ropes, coming down the final run, but he's managed to hold on to that lead. He's managed to dominate Swinton, and he now comes down through the line to take the win.
Yeah, so a good race for USOne out here. You know, a little blunder on the first hoist. We ripped our kite pretty bad, but with a pretty hefty lead, it was okay for us. And we were able to hold our lead on the first run, and he was definitely a little quicker on the second run, but you know, some good tactical calls kept us in the race, and that's how it ended. So, you know, we're live here, and we're going to still fight hard.
Canfield managed to claw back a win, but still remained in a must-win scenario in race 4. The tension showed at the first bottom gate.
As we see both boats jibe towards the gate, Swinton still in the lead, but coming down to the last bottom mark, completing lap 1 onto lap 2. We're going to go out to Alan Block on the water for the rounding.
Simon, look at that jib go up. Keith Swinton, the Black Swan team, another great rounding. These guys are doing a spectacular job. Look at the energy of Ricky Bobby on the bow, doing a spectacular job. A little bit of kite in the water as it comes out and sending it right back out to the right. Canfield with no choice at all. He's got to go left, and I'm going to guess he's going to send it out there to the left side because he's got to split, and Swinton is not letting him get away.
We're on board with Swinton as both boats track across the tack from Canfield. Swinton bow down looking for the dial. Taylor Canfield trying to avoid, and massive impact. Canfield trying to escape off to this right-hand side. Keith Swinton altering down quite late. We're going to see an umpire's decision here. Possible damage there from that huge impact as the boats continue to track upwind. Now I wonder whose nerves are going to be frayed. And there, the yellow flag, Keith Swinton. He was in the lead. He was coming around that bottom mark, and there the yellow flag. Disaster has struck for the Australian. And it is now Taylor Canfield in the lead down towards the bottom of the final run. And it erupts up and down Navy Pier. Taylor Canfield has claimed this 4th match. The score is 2-2. Could there be more drama? There are guns firing across the tall ships lining Navy Pier. The US hero Taylor Canfield has taken Keith Swinton to 2-2 in the finals of the Chicago Match Cup.
Canfield levelled the scores at 2-2. It was down to a decider.
Full hike here
So
now,
as
full
the
hike.
boats separate across, Swinton off to the right-hand side, Taylor Canfield off to the left. Keith Swinton coming in here from the right-hand side. Looking across to Taylor Canfield with the yellow sails. Canfield picking up a bit of extra speed. He's across Swinton and around the final top mark. There goes the spinnaker. Taylor Canfield around the mark in front. Here comes Keith Swinton on the chase. Small luff and the hoist from Swinton. Small twist for Swinton. It's coming down now towards the finish. The crowd on the end of Navy Pier have gone silent. They're willing their champion, Taylor Canfield, towards the line. They're the jibe. Down towards the finish. And Taylor Canfield now coming down. He's pointing towards the line. The crowd begin to erupt into a sea of applause down on the end of Navy Pier. It is Taylor Canfield that has come home. He is taking this for USOne sailing. He is taking this for America. Taylor Canfield has won the Chicago Match Cup.
From the U.S. Virgin Islands and now based in Chicago, Taylor Canfield and the USOne sailing team. Let's hear a huge cheer for our 2013 Chicago Match Cup champions! He's holding the championship trophy!
We're ecstatic to win here in Chicago, and you know, it was always a dream of mine to win the Chicago Match Cup, and coming back from 2-0 was a big one for us, so it makes it that much better. So overall tour results will definitely help our ranking on the tour, and Ian Williams finishing up 4th here is a big bonus for us as well. So hopefully we'll move back up to closer to the top where we belong. And next up on the tour is stage number 5 in Bermuda, the Argo Gold Cup, and we're looking forward to going and defending that title as well. And you know, we've been sailing hard. We have a couple more match race events before then, so we'll be doing some training as a team, and we're looking forward to it.
A very close final with Taylor. Yeah, obviously, as you say, going all the races. Yeah, it was just unfortunate for us. We just couldn't quite get that 3rd win when we needed it.
We feel pretty good to finish 3rd. Actually, after that petite final race yesterday, we thought that it was over. We thought it was first to 1 point. Well, the next is Bermuda, and we're going to try prepare as good as we can.
The Chicago Match Cup pleased the huge crowds by crowning one of its own for 2013. A memory to cherish for USOne sailing team and all at the Chicago Match Race Centre. The 4th different event winner this year means Canfield and Monoprio are tied on points, and only 9 points from Ian Williams. Hansen is also close, just 10 points from the leader. Join us for crystal blue waters and scorching sun as we head to Bermuda for the 5th stage of the Alpari World Match Racing Tour. Don't miss it.
It's volatile out there. Conditions can change in an instant. You've got to stay in control, spot the opportunity, then make your move. It's all about execution. Search Alpari Race and get on board. Alpari, your global Forex broker.
Forex is high risk and not suitable for all investors. Losses may exceed deposits.